Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. We gotta have a conversation about the irony. Specifically dispelling this narrative, leftoids love to paint this picture as if they are the compassionate ones. They're the ones who care about the people. They're the ones who care about the little guy, the downtrodden, the underserved, underprivileged. But it's all a freaking mirage. It's all a scam. It's all false marketing. And every now and then you see a leftoid accidentally admit the truth, or every now and then you see leftoid policies enacted, and it makes you question everything. In fact, it makes you think to yourself, these people are not the good guys that they portray themselves as. A couple words always come to mind: manipulative, evil, power hungry. And today's video, well, it's more examples falling right in line with those concepts we've been building on for years at this point. Well, here's more evidence as we continue to make the argument. Folks, I present to you the real left in their own words, through their actions, not through their propaganda. This is who they really are. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so the question is, on the issue of illegal immigration, what is the motive? Is it really about refugees and people fleeing persecution? No, it's not about that at all. It's about three things: importing loyal, lifelong Democrat voters, importing cheap labor, and now, as the Democrat admits, importing fresh meat for the war machine grinder.
Troubles me about the debate now about the southern border is it is one half of the immigration equation. Yes, we need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there's also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now. The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance? I think we should.
Well, there you have it, folks. How are we going to continue to perpetuate chaos across the globe? How are we going to continue to feed this war machine, this Pentagon military-industrial complex, without cheap immigrant labor? This guy actually presented this idea as if it was progressive and compassionate and the right thing to do, inclusion. But essentially what he's saying is, let's import the world's poor to fight our wars. Let's import the world's poor to send them on the front lines to die for our causes, which in many cases isn't even necessarily a virtuous or justifiable cause. That's the new marketing shtick. Hey, people in Venezuela fleeing communism. Oh wait, excuse me, actually. The Biden administration banned illegal immigrants from Venezuela and Cuba. I forgot about that. Hey, immigrant from Guatemala or Nicaragua, whatever it is, seeking economic prosperity and opportunity, come here and we'll send you to Ukraine, right where you belong, to fight the evil Putin fascist. What an absolute farce. I mean, what a joke. Once again, the leftists say the quiet part out loud. Open borders was never about asylum. It was never about respecting people's claim to asylum. It was simply an illegal immigration racket to bring in loyal voters and a subservient underclass. This isn't the first quiet part out loud. Back when Donald Trump was running for president the first time, we all remember this infamous moment from The View.
If you kick every Latino out of this country, then who is going to be cleaning your toilet, Donald Trump?
Oh, that's no.
In the sense that, you know what I mean?
That wasn't the only clip, however. There's also this one.
For anybody else here who works in London, who would be serving our coffee in Pret? Who would be selling us our sandwiches in Pret? You're not going to get English people to take those jobs.
They've been telling us the truth for a very long time. It's kind of a surprise how their scam has lasted this long, how people actually believe the virtue signaling that comes from the left. There is no actual virtue to signal. It's all a freaking scam. It's a mirage. It's leftist propaganda. This is what they do, people. We care so much about the people. peoples. They want you as a slave. That is the core of leftist ideology, if you really think about it. I mean, they're all a bunch of freaking communists. They want people to fall in line. They want people controllable. Well, who's the perfect person to control? Low-skilled immigrant labor. Easy to control during election season. I mean, just promise free things and promise job opportunity and amnesty programs. Not to mention in terms of the dollar, low-skilled immigrants, I mean, it's cheap labor. It's almost modern slavery, if you think about it in a way. The left is not the beacon of virtue that it pretends to be. They show it through their actions, and again, they show it through their policies, as I suggested in the intro. If it's not importing cheap labor to put to work or importing the world's poor to send to the military meat grinder, well, then it's nonsense like this. You know, just overt discrimination and racism, a denial of people's 14th Amendment rights.
The 14th Amendment's dead. The Equal Protection Clause ensures that every American citizen is treated fairly and equally in the eyes of the law. Nor shall any state deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Now, the 14th Amendment was necessary during Reconstruction to make sure black Americans were treated equally. And the law has been interpreted to cover skin color, gender, religion, nationality, because society cannot function if laws apply to certain groups and not to others. And just like Democrats opposed ending slavery, today's left still insists on discriminating based on race. After a months-long strike, Portland's teachers union hammered out a new contract. And the contract says teachers can discipline white students differently than black students, and black students differently than Hispanic students. So if a student is disruptive in class, the schools must, quote, take into consideration the impact of issues related to the student's trauma, race, gender identity, presentation, sexual orientation, disability, social, emotional learning, and restorative justice.
Yeah, that's the left. It's also hypocritical and, well, in a way more ironic, I guess, than anything else. The left hates fascism, right? That's what they tell you. We're fighting fascism. We're bashing the fash. And how are we going to bash the fash? Well, through authoritarian means and mob rule and mob control and government censorship. That's how the left is going to bash the fash. Absolutely freaking genius, am I right? Obviously hypocritical, ironic, backwards. Well, how's the left going to BTFO racism? Well, their first plan was burning down black neighborhoods, but obviously that didn't work. So now their second plan for BTFOing racism is what exactly? Well, it's an ingenious idea. The left is going to end racism by being racist against white and Asian people. It's the same freaking thing every time. The right is extreme, says the black-clad Antifa militants. The right, they're fascists, says the big government authoritarian censorship regime. The right doesn't care about peoples and the immigrants and the poor's peoples. We care about them. And how are they going to care for them? Well, essentially by turning them into subservient slaves, an underclass. The right doesn't care about rights and people's rights, says the left, disregarding people's First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, 14th Amendment rights, the list goes on. I don't know how much more clear I can make it. I don't know how much more clear they can make it. Just pay attention to the quiet part that's being told accidentally out loud. It tells you all that you need to know. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I will see you on the next one.